Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me quickly go through these. So, my opponent jumped the gun there. Have fun in this game. Let me ignore spectators. Let's try d4. This one right here. Ignore spectators. Have fun. I'm also white in this one. Let's try knight f3. I have white again. Have fun. Let me ignore spectators. Oh, I didn't move. Let's try c4. Right here. Oh, 4 whites and black. Ignore spectators. Have fun. And the last one. Have fun. Okay, here we go. Let's try a Caro. Okay, let's try knight f3. d4. Knight c3. I might look to control d5. I didn't move in this game. Let's try c4. Here we go. Okay, so Caro, d5. I seem to always play this, at least in one of the games. Nothing here yet. This will go fairly quick in the very beginning. Advanced Caro. His pawn's being challenged. I want to reinforce it. Queen b6, queen b3. Nothing here yet. Nothing here. Okay, let's get my knight up. Bishop b4 is likely going to be the case. There's going to be a battle over the e4 square. Now, a question to my bishop. I believe I a bunch of times said that in reaction to g4, the bishop should stay on this diagonal to prevent this pawn advance, but I think that this actually turns out to be okay. Bishop back. If pawn push, I take. Or no, maybe not. I'm gonna stick with staying on this diagonal. Bishop back, pawn push. I don't know. Bishop back, pawn push. Something with queen d6 maybe. There might be something with that. Bishop back, e6, queen d6. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. And then will I be able to get in this e5 advance? Because my pawn would be backward if this e pawn exchanges itself for my f pawn. Maybe I should just go with something easier for me to calculate. Be more practical. Let's do that after all that. After all that. Okay, c4. Challenge this guy. My bishop on g2. Okay. Alright, let's get more development in. Nothing here yet. Okay, there you go with b2. This is actually quite scary against Mr. Allen Chess. I really didn't want to have to do this, but I guess I'm going to have to do it. I was talking about meeting queen b6 with queen b3, I think, earlier. How can I manage that? Can somebody tell me how that's going to happen? It's not happening. So I got to do a very weakening b3 move, but should be okay. My rook is tactically vulnerable, but I don't know that there's really a successful tactic. Alright, let's go with this. I'm quite alright with bishop takes knight. Okay, now this, my opponent is definitely coming at me hard. Okay, my bishop looks stupid, but I hope to get it out in this direction one day and also maybe exploit the king position, queen h5 being a threat. So I definitely have to reinforce this pawn. And, well, queen b3, I think, is the way to go. With c5 in response to queen b6. This is awkward for me to see. Opening up 2 doors for the bishop when it could already have come out on 1. Get developed. The knight is out, and now I want to do this so that I get to this square. My knight wants to get here, and I think I could be assured of that. Okay, so where does my light square bishop belong? Probably here to prevent an ensuing pin. Let's just go there. Okay. Exchange queens, get in b5 eventually. Get my bishop developed. Get castled. I want to get in e4. Okay, so now before this move comes in, I'm blown apart on the king side. Let me stop that. So now the action, since this section is closed, will be on the queen side. I'll be looking to get in c5 very soon. Nothing here yet. Nothing here. Something here. Castles. So queen c2, rook e1 are candidate moves. Rook e1 can be met with knight here. Typical idea, I believe, for black against this arrangement for white is to play the knight here, and if the knights are exchanged, for the bishop to recapture on this square. Knowing that if the knight then ever moves, the light square bishop exchange is going to happen. There's really not a better diagonal for the light square bishop, although many times I have seen the bishop play to h3 and then the knight moves just to avoid the light square bishop exchange. What am I even getting at? Maybe I should go with queen c2 instead of rook e1, in other words, just so that I'm guarding e4 directly and I rule out knight e4. How might black respond after queen e2? Queen e2, I believe one of these two pawns should be pressing in the center. Queen c2, d5, I just take. Bishop pin, h3, do I really want to take the knight? Going back to h4 just gets it trapped with g5. I somehow just like queen c2. Okay. Pawn push, yes, this is the direction I need to go. Right there, that does not concern me. Should it concern me? I'm not so sure. Let me castle. Knight d2 to c4 will come with tempo. Bishop here, I believe, is available. Bishop f4, queen takes b, I get the rook. Bishop f, let me just run this calculation again. Bishop f4, queen takes bishop, queen takes pawn. If this knight was still on b1, this calculation I'm trying to run through right now is bad. Bishop f4, queen takes bishop, queen takes pawn, queen to c1 would turn out to be mate. So it's an important detail that this queen knight is first developed if I'm thinking about playing to f4. Very easy to miss. The queen coming down to c1 to give mate. So bishop f4, queen takes pawn. I'm threatening the rook, and after that I'm threatening the knight. My opponent is 1, 2, 3 moves away from castling. Bishop f4, queen takes pawn. There might be bishop takes knight, pawn takes, queen takes pawn, but I grab the rook and then I'm on the knight. Black would not be there in time to castle and defend the knight. However, does my queen end up getting trapped if I go after the rook? Bishop f4, queen takes bishop, queen takes pawn. Let's say e6, queen takes rook, queen back to c7, and my queen is kind of stuck. Soon enough, there's going to be bishop e7, castle, and then as soon as the knight moves, my queen is trapped in the corner. What am I even getting at? What am I doing? Well, this is what I'm getting at. I'm not going to play bishop f4. Two things: support f4, bishop f4, and just advance my development. That took a while for me to figure out. Maybe it was okay, maybe not. Okay, let's grab it in the center. I have a half-open c file. Just develop right away. I don't see a reason not to. My opponent has to do something like queen e2, bishop there if they want to castle kingside. And now I think knight d2 to here is looking pretty good. Let's try it. c3 is unprotected for the moment, but I don't know if it could be exploited. Nothing, nothing, nothing. My opponents are all thinking at this point. Okay, time for some water. Okay, I'm in trouble. Oh man. Oh no, that actually works. That's a save. I thought knight takes pawn would be available. It's not a good idea though. I take the queen and then the rook. Fortunately, I had that move. Clearly, did not calculate that. Okay, that I definitely need some work on that opening. I don't like the position I'm in, where I had to play b3 in response to queen b6. Not ideal. Okay. Bishop here. I'd like to get the dark square bishops off since both e6 and g6 have been played. That implies the file, the square right in between them, is a hole. So the removal of this guy and one day getting a knight here somehow, maybe even a pawn up to this square, and then a knight into f6 can be devastating. How can I manage that though? Bishop g5, queen d2, and then bishop h6 might actually not be so far-fetched. I'm going to give that a shot. Bishop g5. Let's see how black reacts. Now, apparently we're going to have a serious blockade going on this square. I'm going to do this for actually two reasons. A, cubbyhole for my bishop, and B, get the light square bishops off one day. So it's a support point on b5. The queen runs home, and I think now I need to just come back here. Defend c3 and avoid knight takes bishop. Okay, my opponent's queen is going back. Development. Okay, I was just ready to castle, but is this pawn push going to be annoying? Could be. Let me do this so my dark square bishop can breathe. Maybe I should have considered that. Oh well. Okay, nothing here yet. Let's come back. Did that for a reason. Nothing here. Nothing here yet. What would I be doing? Castles. Maybe get an e4. Maybe move my queen out of the way and move my b pawn. This is my furthest advanced pawn. I'd like to be able to get a pawn right beside him. This is their furthest advance. They'd like to get an e5, but that's a long way off, I think. Maybe there's knight h4, knight h5 stuff. Not so sure. So that is not a possibility anymore. My knight doesn't have another square. Let's get him there. It's his only move. Okay, knight h5. Let's see. I might be okay with the knight takes bishop because I can recapture and have my pawn controlling e5. But I'm not going to do that. Do I go back to d2 or e3? e3 obstructs my e-pawn, but maybe there's a reason to reinforce my center. Yeah, there is a purpose in playing here because e5 can now not come. I could take with the knight. Knight takes, pawn takes, my bishop is there to watch over this, and I believe that there might be, not long off from now, tactics on d5 with my bishop, my fianchettoed bishop, and my knight on c3 converging there. And now this is something that I wanted. I want the dark square bishops to come off, so I don't know that that's really a good idea. He is the #1 minor piece, and he is officially off the board. So now I could exchange dark square bishops and then make sure I get in bishop to b5 before maybe it's too late, because I'm not going to be able to prevent a knight from sitting out on d4 for so long. Where is this king going to castle? I'm not so sure. Kingside is a bit scary. Let me go to other games. Okay, so now, which piece is the most annoying? Well, not so sure. I was going to play here, but knight f4 is a pain. I'm going to rook on a half-open file. Okay, so now this was the other idea that I didn't talk about before I went away, and that is after h3, the bishop has to give itself up. Otherwise there's a fork with g4, and I think that that's a good thing to try and get in, obtain that imbalance. I'm going to do that, and I'm not sure how I want to recapture. I might want to go with my e-pawn. It's castle. Pawn push, I could play knight g5. I might have wanted to consider that on that last move. So now maybe sneak my queen into h6, get my knight to g5, and then kick this knight away. Just seems so appealing. But first, let me do this. In calculating which rook to play to d1, well, I go with this one because my a rook wants to play to the half-open c file. And now, before again it's too late, I believe I do this. I don't believe it's a problem to have doubled B pawns. In fact, my rook is going to be a bit happy about having a half-open file to play with. Now, I think that is actually an issue. I could do this, and now there's pressure on the pawn and the knight. This is I think, the most aggressive piece for black right now. Take with the pawn or the bishop. Take with the bishop is more aggressive, but maybe more long-term I want to take with the pawn and then play to f4 to control e5. But if I take with the pawn right now, e5 comes immediately. But there might be some sacrifices, seeing how my opponent is still 2 moves away from castling. Pawn takes e5, maybe I could take here a couple times. You know what? I don't want to calculate. I want to keep the position as is. My opponent is ruling out knight g5. In that game, I didn't want to go with a structural difference. I'm just going to go with the knight versus bishop imbalance. a3, b4. Knight here to this square is actually very... What is this pawn doing? He's guarding g5. What is he not doing? He's not guarding g6, and I believe that I can exploit that. Okay. Nothing here yet. I should have been in pre-move mode with that. How do I take? I'm going to go with the bishop. Get my queen to d2. I have a lead in development in this game. Pawn push, chase this knight away. I'm going to do that. I could still castle queenside in that game. I haven't declared my king to any square just yet. Huh. Now that is something I did not consider. I'm going to be dropping that pawn. However, just thinking rook here, then the queen takes the pawn. I have to block with my queen. I can't really guard that pawn. I'm going to end up dropping that pawn. I feel like there should be some compensation somehow, though. I have the safer king. Okay, you can grab that pawn. I'm going to try and work with it. Pawn push helps out the bishop, kicks the knight away. Let me get my queen up. Pawn push is now more of a possibility. I have pressure on h6. Bishop f4, control this square. Queen back, I think I like. Pawn push, pawn push. What's the plan in this one? Bishop f4 and then get in this advance. Bishop f4 and e3. Yeah, bishop f4. Bishop f4, e3. I like this idea. Okay, so now I could jump in here. There's not going to be any kingside castle. I hear the rook has to move. I could take the bishop. I have the bishop pair. Can I make use of the dark square bishop that I would have, which is unopposed? Knight g6. Let's just run with it. Okay, and now get my rook involved. If knight here, I go to d2 to h6. I don't know that I'm really inconvenienced. I might be okay with dropping that pawn. Maybe not. Pawn push, knight here. My knight's going to get hit a bunch. I feel like I'm okay with giving up another pawn, actually. What a pain this queen is. I thought I'd be able to get a pawn push in and my knight here in time to just guard this, and my pawn on b4 would be cramping to these guys, but that's not the case, is it? A queen here and then here. Yeah, there's no queen here. If knight here, I could kick it away. Let's do this. I can get castled very soon. Okay. I feel like I should induce some weakness against the king side. But let's get off of this diagonal first. I want to allow for c4 to be available. Okay, well, my center is starting to collapse. I take that. And this bishop I'm regarding as pinned. I could take him at any moment. And now is not the moment. Pawn push. I was going to play rook b1 and then push. I think pushing right away is best. If knight takes, I could grab the pawn or even rook b1 stuff. I could already anticipate the king's address in that one. Okay, I'm in a pin. Need to get castled. Nothing here. Nothing here yet. Nothing here yet. Something here. So now queen d2 to h6 with knight g5 stuff. Dark square weaknesses in that game. I was talking about that dark square bishop for a while. He is now off. My opponent did not shy away from the trade. Actually went in its way with that bishop g5. It was bishop f6 that was the response in this game. But my opponents are all thinking in this one. Let us see. Okay, we got action in this one right here. It's the knight that recaptured. I thought the pawn would have been best to then get in c5, but okay, we're not having that. So rook c1, I'm opposite the queen, and this is a liability on c6. Nothing here yet. King here, stopping queen h6. Okay. This bishop's unprotected. There might be some tactics with moving my knight and hitting the queen or something. I don't know what I want to do. I think I actually want to drop my queen back. I think there's something to this. e4, and also if c5 comes, it's bad because of the queen's being hit by a rook. But if my queen is the leader, that might actually be available, that c5 move. Okay. Now I'm going to do this advance. Knight here, the bishop can't eventually recapture because of the pressure I have on h6. And now rook here is not a threat. I have this covered. But what if I move my queen here? A more aggressive square? No, I'm dropping the pawn. Queen c2 and then pawn push, I think, is the right thing to do. Let's try that. I want to get rid of that knight, and now there's a question being thrown, and only at this point will I take. Once my hand is forced. Nothing going on in that one just yet. And now I take, and now I'm winning this pawn. Are there any drawbacks? If I didn't have my rook on c1, bishop takes pawn is met with maybe bishop takes c. Not the case now. I'm up a pawn. I'd be hitting the rook. But after here, rook h8, I could just play here. There's not going to be an issue on h2. Gotta watch out for h2. But I think I will be able to have that covered. Yeah. And my thought about coming back to f4 is actually maybe not so good because of the pressure black has on d5. Some stuff with that. Okay, queen there. Now pawn push, pawn push. I think this is working. Pawn push, pawn push. Avoid the knight exchange. We'll see when that. Let's see how that pans out. Come on. Let us see. Take the knight. Queen here. This queen is such a bug. Man. My rook doing something. Wasn't doing anything. So now I could do this. Now bishop here, bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes, pawn. So what about bishop f3 first? Actually, bishop f3, there might be a pawn. No. Bishop here, pawn push, I could just take. The g-file opens up, but there's not really an attack. I would be fine in that situation. So let me unleash my my rook. There's not that move, is there? Bishop f3, g5, I would just take. Bishop f3, I just want to play here next. This bishop's kind of out of play if you can't crash through at this point. Okay, let's go with that. Bishop f3, bishop f4 coming up. Pawn push. Or knight here. Knight here, there might be some checks on my king. Let me just kick this knight away first. Knight might play here. I played a d3. Okay, and now I kick this knight away. Gain some space. Let's see where that knight goes. Nothing here yet. Nothing here yet. I have the least amount of time in this game. 13 minutes. 14 minutes in this game. 11 minutes in this game, actually. A lot of time in that one. We have action in this one. So now, just want to get rid of this. I'm quite alright if the pawn is taken now. These pawns are going to be doubled and likely to fall quick. Okay, pawn push. The knight moves. I believe that this is the way to go. I want to get to that f6 square. It was something I was talking about a while ago. Getting the dark square bishops off, a pawn on e5, and a knight on f6. That might not be too far off from actually happening. Queen here, I believe, is best. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, something here. I should have been in pre-move with that. Nothing here, something here, knight here. I have a space advantage. I want to keep it by having more pieces on the board. Oh, I'm also have d6. Two reasons to play to this square. d6 and f6. Nothing here yet. Something here. Take that bishop. Oh, I'm also on this pawn, so this is going to fall apart fast. I could take this pawn with check and then come back. Let me go to the other game, though. Let's get out of this pin as soon as possible. Or maybe I'd go to f1. Maybe I don't want a castle. Pawn push. Stuff opening up over here. I'm not afraid of that. I have bishops here to cover stuff. Okay, this knight is unprotected. Queen here threatens it. And actually is going to be a winner. Pawn push. I grab the rook. That's a problem. Okay, they are officially castled. Knight here and then here. Not sure. What about queen here? Knight c5 stuff or something. I just don't know. Let's do this. I'm down a pawn, but I have the safer king. Take this pawn and then take here. Everything's going to be good with check. And I believe no matter what, I just take here. But let me think about it. Actually, oh, let me think about that. I believe that's what I would do. Okay, so I think take this rook first and then play here, because it would then come with a stronger, it'd be much stronger to first take here. Take the rook and then take that and then go to f6 or d6, excuse me. Let's do that. Keep one rook on the board. And now I think I want to challenge this knight. What I don't want to allow is a knight getting here. If I do this, maybe my king starts to become a bit vulnerable. Let me do this. Oh, wait. Oh, I just moved. Okay, yeah, I think I would have gone with that. I got it. I have to take with my rook. I'm pretty sure. I can't. I want to keep the queens on the board. Let's do that. How do I capture my... I have the two bishops. Queen takes, I'm on this twice. Okay. Okay, my opponent is taking somebody down. He's not just going... He's not going to allow me to just get a knight for free. He's taking somebody down with him. Okay. Probably a good decision. Bishop here, knight b5. Queen here. Kick the knight away. I don't know yet. Oh, queen here. Queen here. Knight here. Kick this knight away. See, the knights don't have good homes. That's going to be a problem. Nothing here, nothing here, something here. Rook up and then over. I need a flight square still. Rook here is also very active. This seems like it might be close to winning, actually. It's a mate threatened too. Okay, pawn push. Where's the knight go? Not so sure. b4, b5 stuff. Just take. I'm winning the queen in that one. That could be close to lost. Now, knight here. Could pick up that bishop. Could get maybe my other knight here. This seems just way too appealing not to do. Although rook hits on the second. I feel like there should be something, though. Just take here. Maybe there's not any rush. Yeah, there's not a rush. Knight takes pawn, stop rook c2, and then go here next. I'm going to do that. We'll wait on that. Okay, take with the pawn now. I need to keep the queens on the board. Okay, mate in 2. The queen has to block. I'm controlling g. And now pawn push. Actually, bishop here. How does my opponent complete their development? This is going to be a problem. Bishop d6. If I did that before this a4 idea and the queen moving, that there was knight b5 with the fork on my queen and bishop. This is a problem for black. This is likely to be a problem for black here because of the dark square issues and this knight kind of being out of play. I have both of my knights are centrally located. This is going to still be a struggle for sure. I got to get active. I'd like to get my rooks functioning on that 4th rank. I can't use my b pawn to even crack at that structure now. Okay, my opponent resigned in this one. Good game, Alan Chess. Let me close out. Oh, here we go. Okay, so nothing here yet. Okay, so now this is crumbling. This is discover check. I'm on the rook. I'm ready to take the rook and queen. So now I don't have to worry about the rook getting to c2, and I still don't want to get any exchanges. I believe knight d6 is best. Let me just make certain. Other candidate moves, knight takes knight. I don't see how that helps me. I want to throw a knight really deep into this black position. It's got to be very inconvenient. Now, rook here, or queen check. Queen check might be actually an option. Queen check and then rook here. My queen getting to this e3 could be very annoying. I think this is a good start. Queen check. And okay, now now what do you do? Maybe the idea here is to just double up. Rook here. Actually, is the knight going to play there? And then takes, and then the other knight jumps in here. Pawn push takes, queen takes, bishop takes, still can't castle him on this. Maybe king here is all of a sudden safe. Queen here threatens this pawn. And c6. My opponent is still not castled. Okay, so this is going to definitely be an issue. I'm up a lot of material. I could take this bishop. I can also kick this knight away. Could take this knight and then somehow maybe get here. h4, I might want to get my h-pawn involved. Gotta watch out for these knights. One wrong step and you could be in big trouble. Maybe there's a fork possibility on c6. Maybe a fork possibility on f5. If either one of these moves. In fact, taking here, there is no pawn takes because of knight f5. There might be an undermining of my knight with f6. I'm not so sure though. Pawn push here, the knight can't go back to this square because it obstructs the queen's view of the bishop. So pawn push, where does the knight go? Pawn push, the knight has to go to this square. It's unprotected. How about this, actually? Pawn push, the knight moves, and I push again, and then I could jump into c6, another support point, where I could remove the bishop, and then I jump into c6 and be disruptive again. b4 is very forcing. I think it's a good option. b4, knight takes, I take here. There's no issue. I'm going to go with that. Hang on. b4, knight a4, b5, the knight could be making use of this square, forking my rook, but I play up to d3 and I'm on that twice. I think it should be okay. This queen, I don't really have to worry about her too much, I don't think. Okay, the rook blocks. So rook here, I'm threatening this pawn. Seems like the right thing to do. Whoa, now that is dangerous, isn't it? Grab this pawn. Oh, no, no, no. It's on my bishop. It's running my bishop here. And drop back. Keep an eye on that pawn there. 7 minutes only in that game. Okay. Anything in this one, really. I have a lot of material. I guess king g2 is the best. Just get out of the pin and then you meet rook takes f. Nothing here, nothing here. My opponent is down to 6 minutes in this game. Man, let's see. Okay, oh, we have action here. Okay, so the knight went there. Now pawn push, the knight is basically out of play. Although, no, I can play here with tempo. Take the bishop and then jump in here, but maybe I just don't... maybe I want to work on just keeping this knight out of play. What about something as calm as a3 and my opponent is almost paralyzed? I really think my opponent is close to being paralyzed right now. Zugzwang. Queen here. Queen is very active. I'd be dropping this pawn. Can I trap this queen somehow? Huh. Double rooks. Pawn push. No, I'd drop my rook. Let's not drop any rookies. Huh. This is tough. My opponent has the base points covered. Might have to go for perpetual attack on the queen. Rook here, or something. I don't know. Queen e3. I drop this pawn. I could give a check. Maybe I could get at this pawn. It's tough. Let me see. Let's just get my rook doing something, I guess. Okay, queen up. My opponent's putting up a lot of resistance here. I guess come over here, get rook c3, maybe queen stirs up some dark square trouble on the other side. Let's check. Okay, the knight is going home, so now get my h-pawn involved, I think. We might have this idea of knight here. If knight here, I take the knight, pawn takes, and then knight f5 stuff. I was talking about that earlier. Nothing here. Something here. Anything. Anything in that one. Okay, four games still remain. I don't have much time in this game. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, I have to really pay attention in this game. I have the bishop pair, but I somehow feel I should have been doing something much sooner. Okay, let's attack this pawn. Nothing here yet. Nothing here. And what else? What else? Could grab this pawn. Anything in that one, really. Less than 10 for both of us in this game. I'm not sure. Okay, we have action. This is what I was talking about. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes, and then I have this. Bishop takes knight, knight takes knight. I grab this bishop with my bishop. And my bishop... Whoa. There might be something deeper on f3, getting my queen. Bishop takes knight. Knight takes knight. Bishop takes bishop. Queen takes bishop. Knight takes bishop. Knight f3. Fork on my queen. King g2. Knight takes queen. Rook takes rook. I'm up a minor piece after the smoke clears in that variation. So that's how the queen's getting out of there. And now I think I break open with this. And then my pawn can contribute to breaking up these pawns. I think rook here was best. Now I think I am able to get some attack against the king, actually. Made possible in part by this particular pawn break. Now my rooks become active along the files and ranks. They were already active along the ranks, now the files. Queen here is very active. I'm going to go with it. Pressure on the knight. If the knight moves, there's problems. Right here, get my rook doing something. Nothing here. Nothing here yet. Nothing here. 5 minutes in this game. What is the knight going to do? If the knight moves, I get it this square. If the king goes here, I could give a check. I think soon I'm going to be playing e4 to open stuff up, even if I have to give up one of my bishops. This king is uncastled. Nothing here yet. Okay. Queen takes. Queen takes. Queen takes pawn. I don't know that I should be giving up that pawn. So let me go with my rook, and then maybe I could get my other rook here to pile up on this guy. I worked myself into a pin, actually. Queen here. If queen here, queen a4. And if b3, I can drop back to d7, and I'm out of the pin. I can make use of a4 and then d7 if there's a pin. So I could give a check. Should I give a check? How about I first... No, I'm going to give a check first. I don't want rook here. Okay, and now that knight is going to be falling. And soon the king, I think, in that one. Okay, so now what do I do? What a bug. Okay, so let me get this up here. Rook c3, get my rook involved. The rook is still stuck in the corner in that game. Nothing here yet. This one. 4 minutes and 50 seconds. One game being down on time in one game could really spoil the rest of the games. So let me try and stay on top of this one as best I can. This is going to be leading to mate very quickly. And I will be down to 3 games. This is check. Where is that mate? Check. Mate in 2. No matter what. Or, where's the mate? Is there a quick mate? This is check. I could get the rook. Okay, now here comes that fork. That's what I was talking about. It ended up happening. Tricky knights. Nothing here yet. The king is going to be getting mated in 2. Here, no matter what. Grab the queen in that one. Okay, I could grab the rook. That was a blunder. I'm on that. What am I missing? Not missing anything. Okay, good game in this one. Good game, Vortex. Let's close out. And just pile up on c6. Okay. And now get my queen active. Queen check on g5. Going to be going after the king in that one soon. Okay, the knight is there to defend. I need to open this up, I think. But now I would be dropping this pawn. There's a knight fork. Huh. I think I need to take my time a bit more. Rook here. Queen d2, maybe. Let me do this. Stop knight a2. Maybe do this move. Back my bishop up. Get in f3, e4 stuff. We're going to see. I have an advantage with time in this one, or about even time in this one. Way off time-wise in that one. Okay, so now I can really do anything, really. I'm going to hang on to that pawn, though. Okay, rook there. And just do this. This knight is it's very difficult to get in at the queen side with that knight not being able to be dislodged from b4. I'm up the exchange, but that knight is somehow managing to tie things together here. Action over here. I could grab the rook. Okay. Gonna have a trade. One pair of rooks. Okay. Queen here. Yeah, queen here. Opposite that bishop, but pawn push or taking on h7. Push my pawn, I think. I need to get at these guys, so again, I keep pointing out the idea of me having the safer king. Let me drop back. I need to buy time, really, in that game. Okay, my opponent seems to just be moving immediately, but now I think that this turns out to be an issue. Pawn push. Pawn takes pawn. I take this pawn. I'm on the knight. Queen grabs here, though. Okay, maybe I should still just hold the fort. Is something going to open up here? Stop this pawn. No, I can just grab here. And now I have a passed h pawn. This pawn can't move. I'm guarding it with my queen and rook still. Bump my king up. Swing over here. A new file has opened up. Maybe I can make use of it. Okay, I need to go to this game. King up. Rook to a. Okay, my queen is hit. Check. I pick up the rook with this pawn. Let's check. I believe I'm getting the rook now. Queen check. Queen check here, because I want to keep the rooks on the board. Queen check here, followed by rook here. Yeah, queen check, rook here. Queen there, that's a little scary. I could defend, though. Rook h1. Less than 4 minutes in that game. I'm getting this rook. Okay, that move. Oh, that's. I can do a pawn push with check. I'm gonna keep more key pieces on the board. Okay, my opponent. Okay, I'm getting the knight now. Everything's falling. Actually, that was mate. It's too quick to take a piece. Queen here was just mate. Oh well. I don't want to get into a queen and pawn endgame. We might be going back and forth here. Maybe the best result, that blunder I made earlier. So I guess the queen is looking to now swing around. Get my king up. And get back to contesting this h-file. Okay, that's mate. Alright, good game. Let's close out. And drop this rook back. Drop this rook back and get rook here just in time. H-file is where I need to go. Okay, now the offer of a queen exchange, I think I avoid. I don't know that this is correct. I think the rook did best to keep challenging my rook, because now I get very active with queen a4, or even queen here hitting the rook. Maybe getting back here for checks. There might even be situations where I could exchange queens if I could put pressure somehow. I got to get in this b4 advance. Let me see. I think I like this because it hits the rook and it stops rook check. 2 games remaining. Not a lot of time. Rook here. My queen can't even get here. Okay. Oh, my rook could swing over here somehow. Let's see. Queen c1. Missing anything? I don't think so. Queen c1, maybe queen b1, offer a queen exchange. Not much time. 3 minutes in this one. 5 minutes in this one. 2 games remaining. Started with 5, down to 2. I'm up the exchange in this game. Man, okay. Queen here defends the rook. Is there a way to chase the queen away? Pawn push. Pawn push. Exchange pawns here. Pawn push. Can the queen move and attack my rook? No. Is there any way to... I want to avoid queen exchanges. Pawn push, queen back here might be slick. b4, my clock is ticking in the other game. I think I need to do something here. Oh man. I don't know what game to focus on. b4. I should just make a move here. Pawn push. No, that doesn't work. What am I talking about? b4, queen, e1. I just take. Rook check, I just take. That's silly. Let's go with that. Over here, 2 minutes. Oh, man. Queen G1 to H2. And then here. I want to get the queens off. Let's come over here. If I take that knight, then the queen is going to be giving me checks. She's going to give me a headache. Oh, man. Okay. Now what? Down to the wire here. This is my... I'm more concerned about this game, maybe. I'm up material, but I just not seeing the clear path. I feel like I'm going to have something against this king with this combined pawn move, my queen and rook, the safer king. We're going to see. Is this ever a possibility? Pawn push, takes, pawn push. I think I should have something against the king before my opponent has something against my king. Okay, so now... about queen to D1. Let me do that. Not much time. Queen here, knight takes bishop, king takes, queen check, king here. Queen here next. I think I should be okay. I calculate the knight's going to jump in quick. I think I could deal with the knight. We're going to see. A little scary. I think my king goes to G3. My queen wants to go to H7, offer a queen exchange. Okay, now I take this pawn. And then, okay, we might have a rook ending. Let's take here. Okay, I don't have any... If I go here, it's just perpetual stuff. There's no other successful check. I could play here next, and I believe the queen trade is forced. Less than 2 minutes, though. Less than 5 minutes in this one. Okay, now what? Okay. Rook here. The rook has to come back. Rook here, rook back, rook... takes, queen check. I don't know what that's even leading to. How about rook up? Any move? My opponent didn't move in this game. Still thinking. Just move here to avoid checks or something. I'm in a good spot. King up. I don't think that there's any rush. King up right here. Okay. Less than 2 minutes in this one. Queen H7. Hitting the queen and this pawn. Hopefully this knight is just turning out to be out of play. I don't know that he could stir up any trouble. Okay. Pawn push. I still play here. Queen takes, rook takes, I'm on F7. I'd like to get my king more central. Actually, I'd like to get the king in the center as soon as possible if the queens come off in this game. I'm looking to maybe play rook here and start putting pressure on this pawn. Possibilities for giving check back here. Something to do with this pawn push. Maybe even getting my queen to G4. So I think rook here first. I like having this square available for check. Rook here I think is a good start, and I think it can't get more active than playing here. Pressure on the pawn, pressure on the F pawn, queen check on E1. This game, by the way, is one that I could see the computer just knowing how to defend without any issue, like that Computer Impossible. But for humans, it's much more difficult. Now this, why did I not consider this? Let's see, queen check. Let me go with the queen check first. See what black does. Nothing here yet. About even on time in this one. This one is serious time edge. Okay, now I take here. and then do take here, and if pawn takes, then I have a check. I believe this is working out. The queens are off, or I get something very devastating in that game. Nothing here yet. Pawn push. I did not consider that. What is going on? Why didn't I consider that? Whoa. Wow. Now that is an unexpected move. Rook here. Do I have to dodge a bunch of checks? Rook here, queen check, king here. Queen takes pawn with check, king here. Man. Or just pawn, no, pawn takes pawn, there's queen check, and then queen grabs the rook, and then my queen. I have to go here, I think. I'm not going to get mated, am I? Less than a minute. Still have time here. Both my clocks are ticking. I can't stop the queen from giving check here. Rook h6, queen check, king here. Queen takes pawn check, king h5, queen h2 check. I can move my king and there's no more checks. And then I get at this pawn. Or I move my king again and grab here as threatening mate. I think this should be okay. Am I trying to think too far ahead? I think this should be fine. King h4 to g5, 35 seconds in that game. Where do I want to go? Let's drop back here. I don't want this rook to leave this rank because I have this. Keep my opponent thinking in that one. 10 minutes for my opponent, 35 seconds in this one. Okay, my opponent's down to 3 minutes in this one. Should stay on this one first. What do I do? Well, actually, it's going to be pretty forced. Queen check, I run on this direction. Queen takes pawn, I run not here because the queen could grab this pawn with check. I believe I just bump up. I have a mate threat, keep in mind. Rook takes pawn is mate. The knight is not around to defend. Check, king here. Okay, I have action in this game. And I think I bumped my queen up just a little bit. Still have this square in mind. My opponent moved here. I do this. King here. Queen takes pawn, king here. Okay. About even on time in that one. I should still stay here. 10-second increment, keep in mind. Each move I make, I gain 10 seconds. Less than 40 in this one. I really want to just get it where I could just stay on this game. Queen check. Queen check, king h5. Queen check on h2, king g5, and there's no successful check, and I'm going to be crashing through on e6. Action in this game. Offer of a queen exchange is one that I just do not want. So I'm going to inch my queen up a little bit more. Here. The rook still can't move. It's tied down to that third rank. This pawn can't move. The king is in trouble. Action over here, check. Right here, like I said, yes, it's working. Action over here. And now maybe I could get my rook to a more active spot right behind this pawn. So, right here, my opponent is crawling into a ball, trying to defend, but it's very easy for them to go wrong. Losing the queen, possibilities again with the pawn push, and now possibilities for my queen getting here and just being mate. A bishop would be suffice. So, rook here, right behind that pawn, I think is a good idea. Very active rook. 42 seconds in this game. I think it's close to finishing. The queen, I think, has to give herself up. Okay, and now, yeah, definitely my opponent is crawling into a ball. Queen here to here. And then I have stuff like rook here and then queen check on this square. Queen c1. Still pressure on that pawn as well. Might there be some pawn pushes? No, I don't think so. Queen here. Nothing in this game. Okay, action here. The offer of a queen exchange. Queen takes, rook takes pawn. There might actually be something to that. Queen takes queen, rook takes pawn, followed by rook. The king is in stalemate. But I don't know if I could really get my king around to do stuff. I like keeping the queen still on the board. Let me do that. Yeah, I think it's better to do that. Let me do this. Queen there. Nothing here yet. If I don't see that tab blinking in time, I have to jump over here quick. I think everything seems to be good. Queen check, king g5. I'm hitting the queen. I'm threatening mate on e6. I think it's close to resign. Okay, a minute left in this one now. About rook here. I'm gonna do something different. Let me do this. Let's do that. Okay, my opponent resigned in that game. Good game. Oh man. Okay, let me close out last game. This one right here. Less than a minute in this game now. Okay, where's the win? Queen here. No, then queen here, and then the queens have to come off. Oh, I'm seeing some sneaky stuff. I believe it starts with rook here. I see some sneaky stuff involving rook g4 with mate. If my queen is on h1, I'm threatening that. Rook here. The rook could move and attack my queen, but I could come back here or something. I'm okay. I might be okay with... Okay, actually my time is down. Let's do this. Where is that mate? 32 seconds. Okay, queen trade I do not want. Queen here. It's threatening mate. Queen. I have to just move. There's got to be something. 20 seconds. Hang on. Check. Where's that mate? Got to make a move. Threatening mate on g3. Threatening this pawn as well. Queen here. Queen to f5 with rook check might be a threat. Oh man. Okay. 20 seconds again. I don't have time for that. Let's see. Let's try this. Queen f5 to g4 might be an idea. King is running away. Let's give a check just to buy some time. time gainer. How many times have I said time burner? This is a time gainer. Okay, now there's possibilities to get the queen. Let's see. Okay, here. Here the rook blocks. Put pressure on this pawn. Are we close to like 50 moves and it's going to be a draw? When was the last pawn move or pawn capture? Move 39 was the last time h3. So move 88. And then it would be a draw or something. Rook here. Rook here. And then, I don't know. Actually, put pressure on that f pawn. Pressure on that F pawn. Rook F3. Is that going to be played? Rook here I want to play, actually. Rook F3, Rook D1, Queen C1. Possibilities for rook here. Okay, yeah, let's do this. I have to combine a threat against F4, H3, and possibilities for some skewer. Less than 30. I'm just running on increment, pretty much. My opponent is doing a very good job, by the way, of holding this. It's very easy to have already made a mistake, and they have not made a mistake. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Maybe they did make a mistake, but I didn't capitalize on it. They're offering me a draw, but I don't want to draw. Rook here is a threat, and I don't know that this... I think my opponent might have slipped up. Rook here I could block. Okay, now... Let's see. Let's do this. Okay. Queen here, rook checks. Oh no. Yep. Darn it. A piece is coming off the board now, or is it? Wait. Pawn check first. I want the rooks to be on the board, I think. Darn it. Pawn check, king up. Take this, and then... I have to move. Check. I gotta try this. Still gonna try to win. The king has to play here, here, something. Actually makes a big difference. F3, I don't know, I can't formulate my thoughts well enough right now. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe I could get this pawn. Actually, king here, I could give a check with my queen. Oh, wait a second. And if king here, I could give a check like this and avoid the exchange or something? I don't know. Queen check. Oh no, I could avoid the exchange. Let's see. Queen check and then play here. Whew. That pawn move. That pawn move. I could avoid the exchange. I want to get out of this pin and then try things again and maybe get to G3 now. 22 seconds. Okay, let's do something active such as play my queen here, I guess. And then rook here. I want to get to G3. If I could get to G3, I think things are good. Something bad is about to happen, I think, for white, but my time is not on my side. Not at all. Not at all. I think my opponent needs to try and get rid of this pawn as soon as possible, but they're not going forward with that. So right here, it's very active. Very active. Rook here to here. It's the main idea. Okay, now I could get this in, I think. The rook can't go off the second rank. The queen is also constrained to the defense of the rook. Rook here, this is just going to be too much to deal with. Then I could get at this pawn. Before it was just targeting F4 and A3. But now I have this H3 and a support point on G3. Less than 2 minutes for white. This is, I don't think there's a, it's very difficult to save this now. Rook check, queen here. I could grab this pawn, actually. It's another thing. I'm not really, he's insignificant. As soon as he gets rolling, I believe I could track him down. The rooks and the queen have to stay here, and now check. Let me do that first. Nice post. And then I could take this pawn, but then rook here, I believe the rooks come off. I don't want that. So I think playing here first. I gotta move quick. Here first, because I want to get this. If the queen plays here, then I could take the pawn, and there's not going to be some rook bumping up. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me just grab this pawn. And now material is finally, after move 68, it's balanced, and I still remain... It's still telling in the form of better king position. So now, next phase is what? Get it f4. It's very easy for my opponent to slip up that I haven't been able to take advantage of any slip-ups that they might have made. I might be okay with a queen trade now if I could get this pawn. Because if I could get this pawn, then I play to f5, and then I would get one of these two, and it's a one rook and pawn endgame. So I'm okay with the queen trade if I could get this pawn next. And so maybe now it's good to do this. And then get here. I want to maybe get to this square. Okay. Actually, let me chase that queen back. I think my rook is very well placed right there. My opponent might be close to being stuck, actually. What do you do after this move? The rook has to play here? No, it can't, because I grabbed this pawn. The queen can't move either, and the rook can't go too far. The rook has to play over here. Okay. And now this square. Rook here. Queen here. Actually, my opponent is close to just being out of moves. Very close to being out of moves. There's really no time to get my king involved. The queen will start giving check to me. I think 17 seconds. Just do that. Okay, I have something sneaky in mind. Rook f2, queen here. If rook e2, then there's some issue. Okay, this is a problem, I think. Because of rook here, finally I think my opponent has slipped up. No, 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 the queen's ready to come off the board. What am I talking about? Let's not forget about that. 13. I only had 3 seconds there. I gotta buy some time. I need to make some moves where I buy some time. Wow. I need to buy some time here. Let's come over here. I need to buy some time. My opponent is doing a good job defending. Oh, are you kidding? That was a draw. Repetition? Oh, man. Excellent defense. Good game. You know what I was relying upon right there was my opponent really slipping up, but they didn't make any serious errors. Ah. Repetition, man. That's not the first time that I didn't realize that that might have been repetition. My opponent is saying that their heart was beating like crazy. Well, you did good, man. That was a very difficult defense. What was the... There's got to be... You know, you throw it up against a computer, there had to be something, but... Very good final game. I guess it was, huh? Really? I guess it was a repetition. Yeah. All right. Good games to everybody that played. I really wanted to try and get that one. I guess, to be honest, I kind of even got lucky to even get into that position. That b-pawn ended up falling, but something like I was saying, the king position was where I had compensation. That's too bad. I really wanted to try and get that. Huh. I wonder... Yeah, that's tough. Was there a win here? Let me see real quick. I don't know. The queen is in a good spot. Like, she's defending stuff. Maybe it's just not enough. Maybe it's somehow defendable. I don't know, man. Good game. Whether or not there was a way I could have taken advantage of it, I wasn't seeing it, and you weren't making an obvious enough a blunder where I was seeing how to capitalize on it or any of that. All right, man. Good game. Good finish. And thanks for another successful Simul to Alan Chess, Major Ponage, Lee Vortex, Mandalorian, and D. Galanis. Very good games. Thank you for that.